Welcome to the HHC Sports Weekly. I'm Justin Soakland with the HHCSports.com. The Hoosier Hills Conference crowned its first league champion this week during the HHC Golf Tournament here at beautiful Otis Park in Bedford. We'll discuss the results from that tournament, and we'll also take a look at the 4 football games from Friday night. We had one upset winner, and we had a game that went down to the last 30 seconds with the last score to win the game with Jeffersonville. So we'll discuss all the results from that during this week's show. So let's get started. Our first game is Bedford North Lawrence's 32-20 victory over New Albany. The Stars were winless, but didn't play like it at New Albany, dominating the second half for a road win on the new turf at Burke Field. Junior quarterback Braden Tidd was the star for the Stars, throwing for 284 yards and 2 touchdowns while running out of the option for 100 yards and another score. Matt Scheffler added 102 yards and 1 touchdown on the ground. B&L's run defense against the banged-up Bulldogs was tremendous, as New Albany totaled minus 17 yards on the ground. New Albany quarterback Zach Donan threw for 267 yards and 1 touchdown, but the Bulldogs were too one-dimensional with injuries to the 2 starting linemen and their top runner. The Stars had no sympathy for that. They scored touchdowns on 3 straight possessions after New Albany took a 14-13 lead, then celebrated their first win of the season and only their second under second-year coach Steve Weber.
No, that's a great feeling. It's an awesome feeling. I mean, they needed that so bad. I needed that so bad. They played great, and I couldn't be more happy with them.
Quite a turnaround from last week with all the mistakes to this week. We
still had a few, but yeah. I mean, I don't know if we had any turnovers or not tonight.
Just the one muff fumble.
With the one on the punt. Yeah. No, I'd say a huge turnaround. Huge turnaround. I guess up-downs are a cure-all for everything.
It's hard to take an 0-3 team seriously. Do you think your kids overlooked them at all? Or
I think there was part of it. I mean, they're high school kids, and there's sometimes you just see 0-3, and you think, oh, okay, this is going to be kind of easy. And the scores were, a little, the final scores I thought were a little misleading because they're up 13-0 against Jeff. But if you watch the whole film, some really correctable things. If you watch the Bloomington North film, I think it was like 14-14 in the third quarter. So there was some really, really close, good ball game against good people that they played. And these are high school kids, and we got a very inexperienced group that has to learn how to go through and handle this kind of thing.
Jeffersonville edged Madison 21-14 in the closest game of the weekend. The improved Cubs were in position to finally conquer their nemesis for the first time in the series history, but the Devils scored with 38 seconds left to keep their perfect mark. 41 games without a loss on the field to Madison intact. Cam Northern connected with Chris Campbell from 29 yards for the game winner. Jeffersonville also struck late in the first half as starting quarterback Jamal Britt hit Guy Oliver for a 50-yard touchdown on 4th down in the final 30 seconds of the half, helping the Red Devils overcome 5 turnovers and missed scoring chances in the red zone. Madison stopped Jeffersonville on 4th and goal 4 times. Madison's Reese Dryden ran for 107 yards after starter Kyle Tucker, who had 86 yards left with an injury. Dryden scored once, and Tucker threw a halfback pass for the other Madison touchdown. Jeffersonville coach Lonnie Oldham was glad to escape with a win.
Yeah, it was a pretty good game. But anytime you turn the ball over 5 times, we were inside the 10-yard line 4 times and got no points. So it was frustrating from the coaching perspective because we go up and down the field on them and get down close, we didn't do anything. So they played really well. They were stout. We kept letting them hang around and, it ended up being a ball game. So we got a lot of work to do, but it was fun to win one like that.
Columbus East dominated Jennings County 70-7. Can any team in the Hoosier Hills Conference stand up to East? Probably not. Certainly not Jennings County. Markel Jones had 5 touchdowns in the first half as East zoomed to a 49-7 lead. He broke 3 of them for 40 or more yards. East has now won 51 straight league games, and this was the 3rd time in the last 3 years the Olympians have hit 70 or more points against a league opponent. 2 of them have come at the expense of the Panthers. East, ranked number 1 in Class 4A, has lost only 1 league regular season game since 2003. Floyd Central cruised to a 43-7 win over Seymour. The Highlanders got back on track as Gage Klingsmith ran for 140 yards and 3 touchdowns. Colton Kim completed 10 of 13 passes for 199 yards and another score. Zach Carpenter scored a fourth-quarter touchdown for the Owls, who are mired in a 15-game losing streak. Seymour has allowed 57.7 points per game during the current skid. Floyd Central needed a boost of confidence for its young team, and Floyd Central coach Brian Gleasing believes this win will help that.
We got back on track, didn't I? Give us, young kids a lot of confidence. I thought our defense played pretty well against their option-type game, and we still got a lot of work to do. We were pretty sloppy, but we did a lot better than we did the week before, so we made tremendous strides in 1 week.
How important is confidence for a young team?
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, we just got done watching the film this morning, and our kids see the errors, and they also see the good things they did. We did do some good things, and hopefully we can get their errors corrected. But that's the big key. With a young football team, the more experience that you get, the more confidence they get. They start playing a little faster, and they start coming off the ball a little harder when they know what's going on.
Next week in the conference, the most intriguing game will feature Jeffersonville, which is 4-0 and 3-0 in the league, at Floyd Central, which is 2-2 and 1-1. The Devils are looking to avenge last year's 28-14 loss in the rain, and for Coach Oldham and Coach Gleasing, they are both looking forward to it.
Obviously, we got to stop number 34, which you can't really stop him. You got to slow him down. And their quarterback's pretty good too, so they do some things on offense that will give us some problems because we can't just load the box like we did on Madison. And then, their defense, they're going to play some man on us like they have in the past. And for some reason, our quarterbacks, when they see somebody on somebody, whether they're open or not, they kind of tend to hold the ball and take sacks. So we got to work on that this week in practice, getting rid of the ball and not taking sacks. Yeah, Jefferson obviously is a big deal around here. They're 4-0, and they're going to be hungry to have revenge against us. We still think we've got a shot at being high in the conference. We told our kids, first place might be out of the might not be possible, but we still want to fight for that second place, and this could be a big game, and that for that fight for second. And of course, Jeff's still got a shot at winning the thing. So it's going to have a lot of conference implications, and of course they've got this game behind last year.
The rest of the league games will include Jennings County 1-3 and 0-2 at Madison, which is 2-2 and 1-1. Seymour 0-4 and 0-3 will visit Bedford North Lawrence 1-3 and 1-1. And Columbus East, which is 4-0 and 2-0 in the league, will visit New Albany, which is 1-3 and 1-1. The league's first conference championship was conducted at Bedford's Otis Park as it hosted the HHC Girls Golf Tournament on Saturday. Number 18 Madison won its 4th straight league title with a score of 349, edging number 15 Floyd Central by 1 shot. Madison's Amanda Detmer was the medalist for the 4th straight year. She had 4 birdies and shot a 2 over 74 to clip B&L's Kennedy Holtzclaw by 1 stroke. The Cubs felt the pressure of a 4-peat, and they became only the 2nd program to achieve that, but it wasn't easy. You were the 3-time defending champion, and you had a 3-time medalist coming in here, so some of the onus was on you guys. How'd you handle it today?
We won. I think it really kind of got to them. They didn't play very well, and you're always excited when you win, but this certainly was not their best round, and we had 3 seniors, and none of them played as well as they're capable of playing. But it's exciting. I'm excited for them. They've done a nice job.
Well, to say that and to win by 1 stroke, that's pulling it out. It still says something about your team, though, to pull that out.
Tiger Woods used to say you got to grind it out. Now, Tiger Woods is not one of my favorite people, but the grind it out concept is really a good one.
Congratulations. Looks like you were medalists today.
Yeah, thank you.
Talk about your round today. You got off to a really hot start, obviously. And what trouble did you run into on the back?
On the back, I just had some bad lies. Like on 10, I had a pretty buried lie that was tough to get up and down, and then 11, I just missed right. And then I went into the bunker and I had a really hard shot because the ball was really downhill. So I ended up bogeying those 2 holes, and then I had a triple, which really hurt my score. But on the front 9, I had like 3, or you could say 4. It depends on if you play a hole 4 as a par 5 or not. 3 or 4 birdies. And It was a pretty good start, but the back nine was kind of disappointing just because of some bad lies and bad luck that I had gotten. But I'm happy with how my score finished because my goal was, since I've won conference the past 3 years, to win my final year, and that was one of my goals, and I'm glad that I could achieve it.
4 for 4, that's a pretty good accomplishment.
Thank you.
You mentioned that as a goal. That's tough to achieve, and you can put it out there, but how do you come through and do that? Because there's some pressure involved.
Yeah, well, my freshman year, it was at my home course, and I didn't really expect on winning, but it did. And then the past 2 years also, I've just played well. And I mean, I think on the back nine, I put a little bit of pressure on myself. So that's why I kind of struggled, because I played well on the front. But I mean, it's you have to try and not think about it, but it's hard at the same time.
Also, you had some pressure as a team because I think you'd won this 3 years in a row as a team. So coming in here as a defending champion, looks like you're going to pull that off again.
Yeah. Well, our first year when we won, it was by our 5th score. We didn't expect we were going to win, and it was a real big shock because we haven't won in such a long time. And we've all had the goal to win this year just because we've been playing better, we're ranked, and I hope we achieve that today.
Later this week, all of the Hoosier Hills Conference golf teams will compete in the IHSAA sectionals. Columbus East will be at Greensburg, Jennings County and Madison will play at Madison, Floyd Central, Jeffersonville, and New Albany will compete at Corydon, and Bedford North Lawrence and Seymour will return to Otis Park in Bedford in the 42nd Annual State Tournament. That wraps up week 4 of football and the girls golf tournament at Otis Park. Join us next week as we continue to look at all the competition in the Hoosier Hills Conference. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Until then, thanks for watching.